back. Tuesday edition is well underway here at 4:36, 24 before 5. As promised, we go right to the phones. Alex is next up. He is northwest of us in Pickens County. Hi, Alex. How is your Tuesday?
It's going good. I just want to echo the caller's comments when he talked about the debt of $22 trillion. I have to admit, I'm pretty surprised that we got to $22 trillion and we're living to talk about it. But the funny thing is nobody in Washington ever thinks we're going to pay this off.
No.
I mean, plus I think we're looking at $1 trillion deficits for as far as the eye can see. But the goal is not to pay off the debt, but just to make the minimum payment so that the whole thing doesn't blow up on them in office.
Yeah, essentially they're paying their Visa card with their American Express card.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like somebody who's got 10 credit card bills. They're just trying to make the minimum payment. Plus, they keep interest rates artificially low.
Right.
So the interest on the debt doesn't blow us up. And then using printed money, the government, via the Federal Reserve, buys some of that debt back. The Federal Reserve owns about $2 trillion in U.S. debt.
Yep.
And then the Social Security Trust Fund, when they raided that, they replaced it with about $3 trillion in U.S. debt. So there's only about $16 trillion in U.S. debt held in private hands. So this is the kind of games that they play to keep a terrible situation from blowing up on them. And like every banana republic, our leaders are trying to inflate out of the debt.
Yep.
You know, they double the money supply. If they can double the price level, the $22 trillion on a real basis becomes $11 trillion. So it's a shell game that eventually blows up in the long run, but I'm amazed at how well they've been able to manage it this long. I mean, without it. But they've got some tricks up their sleeves, just like I explained.
Well, and, when you consider the personal economic plight that a lot of people find themselves in, and by that I'm referring to the substantial percentage of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck, who are living off their credit cards. Look at the numbers of the people that have $0 in savings. And I understand, it can be difficult, but wow, you are inviting a fiduciary disaster on a massive scale.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. One of the things that they do, like I said, is they inflate out of the debt.
Sure.
The inflation rate is not 2 or 3%. It's probably more like 5 or 6%, the way you used to calculate it in 1990. But they've done that down, too, to understate inflation. So if inflation is truly at 5 or 6% and the wages are going up at 3%, the average person's losing about 2 or 3% a year.
Yep.
Times 8 years, that's 25% of your purchasing power you lost. This is why people can't save money. This is why everybody shops at dollar stores rather than, A&S or Gimbels now.
Right.
Or they go to the dollar menu. They're just getting squeezed, and they don't know why. This is why. That's the nuts and bolts of it. Inflation's running higher than their wages are going up.
And you correctly, I think, Alex, nailed the dirty little secret in this equation. Nobody in Washington ever expects we are going to have, number one, a balanced budget. That's a pipe dream. Or number two, that we will ever pay off this now pushing $23 trillion in debt. The only way we're going to pay that off, I guess, is if we start marketing and selling unicorn tears.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
When does it go from bad to worse? There's 3 things to look at. Gold, if gold starts to really take off, if the dollar tanks and people lose confidence in the U.S. ability to manage your debt,
that's where they run.
Rates start to go up uncontrollably.
Right.
Those would be the 3 things. And right now it all looks pretty calm, except gold, which is still pretty strong.
Yep.
It's long term, it's a problem. I mean, it's going to blow up on us.
And at least while the budget has continued to inflate at levels that terrify all of us, under the first couple of years of the Trump administration, we've created nearly 500,000 more manufacturing jobs, and in other businesses, the reduction in federal regulation, all of the red tape that people have to deal with in running a business, has been knocked down to at least a livable level. So those are things that are going to keep the economy rolling along at a steady, if not really fast pace between now, I think, and the next election. We'll see.
I think it's going to be a lot like the Reagan administration. When he cut taxes, revenue grew a lot.
Yep.
But Congress just outspent it.
Sure. Yeah, because it's never enough. Yeah.
They can't control spending. It's not the revenue, it's the spending side.
Yeah, and the same way in Colombia, where our state budget each year goes up by another $1 billion each year. It's crazy, but, as long as people insist on sending people to Colombia and Washington that have no sense of fiscal responsibility, who just want to keep on keeping on, it ain't going to change.
I know.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, Alex. Good to have you here today. In on the